Governor Newsom says he is fed up. There are no more excuses. He says the state has done its part, providing plenty of funding to get encampments cleared up. He wants to see the results now. Governor Newsom made the announcement here in Los Angeles yesterday. He joined Caltrans to clear several encampment sites.
And we had our big body challenge today. 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. You try to get under 5 minutes. How'd you get?
We got close. That was about 5:25. You were right behind me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Thursday. TMI. Tell me what you are drinking, Pat.
I am drinking, this is not too much information. This is just the right amount of information. I'm drinking Original Pattern Brewing, which is an Oakland, California beer, local. Wander into the Paradox.
Oh, okay. It's getting existential in there.
Yeah, it really is.
In them there hops or whatever makes that happen.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Red wine?
Fairly sure. It's always my Pinot Noir. Yeah, but I think I got these. I got 2 of these 2 years ago. One broke. This one is chipping red paint. So I'm sure I am, along with my Pinot, drinking plenty of lead. I should probably get rid of these, but I love red. It's my favorite.
Sprinkle some glyphosate.
Glyphosate. Yeah.
Maybe, you know, what's the stuff in the attics? I can't even think of it anymore.
Asbestos.
Little asbestos seasoning.
Let's get it all in there, all in my head. You know, that actually brings me before we get to, or actually, no, we're gonna bob and weave. It's Thursday. We get to bob and weave. Did you see that apparently Gen Z is being blamed because they are not doing their part? The alcohol industry has lost $830 billion in 4 years because Gen Z is not drinking, which, you know, people who are COVID conscious, COVID aware have the knowledge. And, you know, I've had COVID once that I know about, but like that there is a heightened sensitivity to alcohol, to anything that is, you know, histamine, swelling. No, what is it called?
Yeah. It's an allergic reaction. Histamine.
Yeah. So anyway, I am doing my darndest just
making up for it.
To keep the alcohol industry in business, but apparently it's not enough. So I guess I should drink more is what I'm trying to say.
And they just always got to blame the kids. It's not, you know, obviously the biggest piece is COVID. The second biggest piece is
money.
They're all smoking dope.
Yeah.
Which is actually a lot cheaper and it's better for you. So that's, you know, as much as I like alcohol, marijuana is better for you.
Also, it's easier. You know, they're all like doing the thing, although that's the plastic. And I think that has carcinogens, honestly. Like, remember the summer before COVID?
Oh, the vaping. Yeah.
The vaping. Yeah. Anyway, nothing is
a lot of pneumonia from those vapes, especially the early ones, because they weren't regulating the materials inside them.
And pancreatic cancer, like weird cancers in young people that summer. I remember. And then I'm like, you know, then you go down the rabbit hole, and were they trying to offset the fact that COVID had already started? No, I don't know. Who knows? I don't trust anybody anymore. But I do, however, we'll start with our cheers. You like how... Was that a good segue?
Like, subscribe, yada yada. Here's
like, subscribe, please.
Soon, and
do all the good stuff. This is Wagner Mora talking about art being political. The idea that this is even a debate, but then you see somebody like Wim Wenders, Paul Thomas Anderson, who just, by the way, directed. I mean, I didn't enjoy the movie. The One Battle After Another. Did you see that? We should do like a lefty just takedown of that movie.
We could do that
sometime.
Anyway,
night
every week.
What'd you say?
We're gonna have a fourth show, huh? Or you're just calling it out on the air like this.
Oh my God. Well, you didn't say no. You have 3 seconds to
Pete
decline.
Buttigieg's rules are in effect.
That's right. That's right. The Black Caucus, Pete Buttigieg. Anyway, he is saying what I have thought my whole life, and I think most people have, is just a truism. But let's hear in his own words. He's there, by the way, for the widely acclaimed, I've not seen it yet, Secret Agent. And if you recognize him, he was the lead in that Narcos movie. Anyway, Wagner Mora.
Any sort of art is political, in my opinion. And when these people say, oh, you are an artist, stay in your lane, they are ignoring the fact that we historically have been involved in politics and we've been shaping politics. And I think that they are afraid of us. You know, they're not afraid of what I say. They're not afraid of what I'm saying to you right now in this microphone, though it might bother them. They're afraid of what we do with our films, with our music, you know, with our poetry, because art is revolutionary.
I love that. Amen. Cheers to him. Cheers to him. And yes,
and he's a great actor. Really good actor.
Yep.
He's phenomenal.
I would like to do a See You Next Tuesday show.
See you next Tuesday. Can we start with a C?
I think we'd have to. I think
see you, and then we spell out next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yes.
I like it.
Fuck.
But they got to do it. I feel like we maybe got to do it.
It's too good not to.
It's too good not to. All right. Let's get a little bit of joy in here before it all goes to hell. Let's see where my wheel spinner is. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. All right. We need some of that for sure.
Oh, this I teased because I saw this a few weeks ago, but it I hope this brings you joy. Fuck robots, fuck AI. Here you go.
Go. Oh.
I think you can make it. Come on, Juan. He's too scared.
Oh. Nailed it. Hopefully that didn't fall on anybody.
Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, Judy. Judy on duty. I see you. You're a little stuck. Were you on duty?
Oh no.
That's awesome. Well, there is a show, I think it's Seth Rogen in Platonic, and because it takes place in LA, and every time one of those little guys goes past, they beat it, kick it, do whatever. Because not only are they taking jobs, but they are surveilling all of us all the time. They have cameras like Waymo going 24 hours a day.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Every new thing that you see in public is now going to be tracking us. Like it's just a feature they built in somehow because they want the thing to have spatial awareness or something. And then that's, next thing you know, it has facial recognition. I was listening to, I always listen to NPR. You know, I love that.
You love it.
But they were talking about this city funding with their budget, and it was just some small city, and it was like there was a fight over license plate tracker system that they put in place, but the system cost them $300,000, and it's like, that's you're going to get the revenue to make up for that, but from us, so you're just extracting wealth from the public to track people's license plates.
I know. That started here in LA about 7 years ago. And they would have those red light cameras, and they made everybody have front and rear license plates or you'd get a fine. But then like there was some, legal matters, but that now it's all back, because for a while people were taking them off and the cameras were, but now everybody
it's not only all back. I know in California this year they made a few laws. One, you can't have a cell phone on your dashboard anymore if you're seen interacting with the cell phone on your dashboard. And two, they have there's three, but I don't remember what three was. But the second one was automatic speed trap tickets. So now instead of ever interacting with the police,
oh my God,
they're just going to track you, film you, send you a ticket. You can go, I believe it's 12 miles over the speed limit is the marker where the thing flags you. So everyone in California, at least, get used to 10 miles over the speed limit is your
that's your limit.
That's where you stay, 10 miles,
Yeah. It's they're gonna get us every which way.
Yeah. And it's just another example of like, there's no way if you put the vote to the public, do you want these speed traps? Do you want automated speed things? No. So this is shit that we didn't ask for and got no vote in.
I totally agree with you. But also I do like the idea of having fewer interactions with cops pulling people over.
True.
Because
I mean,
you can't ever fight it anyway. Like it's all I hate the whole thing. Like, but also, speeding at a certain level can really be dangerous. Like, as much as I don't want to be like a narc, like that's also something. And anytime they take away, that's the one vocation where I'd like to do away with all the humans in that career, is get those cops off the road. But yeah, I hear you.
I think you gotta, if you're gonna put something in and pretend it's for the safety of the public, it should be a high threshold to flag you, not like 50 and a 40 where it's clear there's no traffic around. There's got to be.
I know
it's not public safety to send everyone in the city eventually some ticket on this. Everybody goes 50 or something.
Absolutely, which is why a big thing that DSA chapters used to do would be like fix taillights, so that you don't have. And remember Sandra Bland? She was for like not putting on her left turn signal, and then also she had it, or maybe somebody else, Philando Castile or somebody had a broken taillight. Like, to get pulled over for something that costs a little bit of money, it's sort of annoying to fix, but like not that big a deal that can lead to somebody's death. Which again, it's like the people who are pulling you over for speeding and being unsafe on the road or drunk driving or whatever should not have weapons. That's what I would like.
Yeah. I mean, why do you need
a weapon?
Yeah, you should have I'm not against like a special police force that on occasion, just like the British do, where you can call in the people with the guns, but the regular folks aren't armed in your face.
Close. Yeah. Well, they'll never put anything to a vote anymore. We're done with all of that.
Yeah, we don't think matter. We vote on Harlem Globetrotters or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who are you going to buy your tickets for? So yesterday we talked about the State of the Union as much as we could stomach it. But we didn't show, we thought we would show a short clip from Summer Lee, who's one of the good ones in Congress, her rebuttal with the Working Families Party, because, she's calling out the right people, which is always a good sign.
This year, we can flip Congress against Trump and against this rigged status quo, but we can't do it by electing more of the same. The Democratic Party is at a crossroads. On one side are millions of working people demanding bold action, lower costs, higher wages, Medicare for all. On the other side are corporate donors and consultants who are terrified of upsetting the very interests that rigged this economy in the first place. That tension shows up in watered down bills and speeches that sound bold but govern small. You can't promise relief while protecting corporations driving up the prices. You can't stand with labor while taking checks from the union-busting CEOs. And you cannot defeat MAGA while keeping billionaires comfortable. In other words, You can't serve two masters.
I mean, that's all that needs to be said. And it's very clear, you know, we were talking about Dem leadership. That's Jeffries and Schumer. And I just have to keep going back to the fact that AOC did not want either one of them to be primaried. She wouldn't talk about it, at least. And even though we have a couple of clips of Mamdani, you know, he supported Jeffries, or at least didn't support a primary challenge. So, yep.
Yeah, if you're elected as a revolutionary and you tell us to vote for Joe Biden or, you know, a couple more Democrats, that's not very revolutionary.
Not a great sign.
And the reality is, you know, as bad as it's going to be for Republicans in the midterms, because they will lose, you know, seats in both houses. Historically, I looked it up at one point. I think it's 28 House seats usually will, the worst case scenario, flip the other way, and then 4 Senate seats. So that doesn't, you know, that's not anything. Even if the Democrats got both of them, if you flip 4 in the Senate, you just need another Joe Manchin,
and they've got plenty of them, right?
Fetterman, you know. So it's just, you're not going to change the world. You might put a little, you know, a smidge a bit of resistance up against fascism, but it's
I hear you. I mean, I totally agree. You know, it's interesting. A lot of the polling now is showing that Tallarico is tied in the polls with Jasmine Crockett, and obviously Republicans thought she would be an easier contestant to run against. That's why they were putting money in and convincing her to run in the race. And I am curious what happens. I mean, also, you know, talking to Oliver Larkin yesterday, and I really loved every response that he had to us. I thought he was great. But like, Florida voted in way larger margins for a high minimum wage, than they did for Biden, right? Like, so I do believe that if people have that choice, and people are angry right now, they don't want data centers, they don't want ICE, they don't want AI, they don't want genocide of Palestinians, they also don't want war with Iran, they don't know, like, so I feel like all of the people who are in power right now could be swept aside if we had enough people running against them, because truly I feel like that anger is there.
It's true. And I put a lot of the slowing down of our progressive movement, I put it on the Squad and Bernie, because if those guys had gotten in there, and, you know, when we all vote, we all donated nationally to these local elections, like, you know, AOC and other people. We're like, hey, that's a progressive. That's going to help not just
her
New York. It's everybody, you know, we're going to get all these people in here. And then they didn't work together at all. And they even told us publicly, we don't really have a plan to ever work together. We don't meet and talk about strategy, but they all ran on the concept. Right. So that the disillusionment that they gave the world slowed down this next phase where, hey, if we saw some success with that, then we would have jumped in and we would have thought, you know, maybe we can take over the party on some level, or at least get enough people in there to shape them more.
Right.
And now it's just like, hopefully we get 1 or 2 in there that'll actually speak some truth. But, you know, 1 or 2 isn't going to really change the policy. You need enough to put up a Tea Party kind of fight,
which we would have if the people who ran on that actually communicated and decided to leverage their power and weren't just angling to get on the cover of Vanity Fair, right? Like, that would be
100%, because all the issues they ran on back to 2016 are more popular than ever now.
And they didn't talk about them for 4 years. 4 years of Biden. We lost all of it.
I think, look, who knows what the November surprises are going to be? You know, this is just the primary. Who knows at that point? But I think Tallarico is going to win the primary. I think they're underestimating the outrage and the anti-Israel sentiment.
I think so too.
Right. And, I think they know it internally.
And I have to say, like, again, he's not my candidate. He took money from Miriam Adelson. I think that his Medicare for all who want it, I don't think he's as bad as Pete Buttigieg. I think that when he talks about the only minorities who are, taking your jobs are the billionaires, I think that's a great message. That's a great message. And he says it and it feels authentic. It does not, nothing feels authentic coming out of Jasmine Crockett's mouth. There was an interesting report. I don't know if it was David Dan or who, but now there are groups of Democrats who are saying they will no longer take AIPAC money, but they still need money to beat the insurgent candidate who's primarying them. And now AIPAC is funneling money through Jeffries and these differently named super PACs that they can sort of bypass the FEC. And so what they do is AIPAC writes to its donor list, but then diverts them to these other LLCs where they, and then it's so that it looks,
hey, you're
not getting money from AIPAC.
Here's AIPAC reaching out to you, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you were going to give us, historically you give us $30,000 a year. Think about giving it to this party instead.
Exactly.
And that party instead is not attached to AIPAC officially, but this whole thing is AIPAC.
Exactly. So so a new shadow super. Oh, so this was Ryan Grimm, but I think that he was citing reporting from David Day, and I'm not 100%, but a new shadow super PAC that appears linked to Hakeem Jeffries is swooping into North Carolina 4 to back Valerie Foushee over Nida Alam, a rematch of a race AIPAC spent $2 million to win in 2022. It appears to be a new backdoor way in for AIPAC, funneling through Jeffries. This PAC also spent $350,000 in New Jersey 11, where AIPAC accidentally boosted anti-Zionist Analilia Mejia. They're spending $257,550, mostly on broadcast. And so, I mean, it's like the fact that Jeffries is still allowing this to happen.
Yeah, one thing I find interesting is, ballots in every state are different on how the candidates can list. Some states, they will let you put a little blurb with your name.
Right.
Not just Green Party candidate. They'll say it's up to the candidates or some need approval. But if every state allowed you and you could put pro-Palestine near your name,
yeah,
because then you don't need name recognition anymore. The thing that the number one determinant of elections largely is name recognition.
Yep.
And the D or whatever. But if you have a D also and you're the pro-Palestine D, for a lot of people that would do it.
I wonder if they could do like a nickname in quotations in between. And yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely, he is the one who is facilitating this 100%. It's not happening without his complicity. I didn't mean that, but like, it's just, they just can't get enough of that money and Palestinian blood. Like, it is honestly like every day I feel like I could not be more horrified or more shocked, and then another thing happens. But before we move on to that part, there was this interesting thing that happened that a student at Columbia was kidnapped this morning. So federal agents went in. Let me just wait. I want to make sure I get this properly.
Kidnapped by ICE.
Yeah, Alaya Agayeva. And apparently, according to Claire Shipman, who's the acting president of Columbia, the dormitory was lied to by these agents to get in. Okay, so breaking news: immigration agents arrested a Columbia University student after misrepresenting themselves to access a building, the school said. Mamdani writes a few hours later, just got off the phone with President Trump. In our meeting earlier, I shared my concerns about Columbia student Elmina Agayeva, who was detained by ICE this morning. He has just informed me that she will be released immediately. She has since been released. That's amazing. The other, I think, really phenomenal thing that he did was get a huge commitment from Trump for 19,000 new housing developments. And Trump is such a little baby that what he had to do was do mock-ups of how exciting it was going to be and present him with headlines in a paper as if that's what happened, so that Trump could see how the public would respond to him. So the reporting is that inside this latest Trump-Mamdani meeting, the last time the two met, Trump asked him to return with ideas to build big, beautiful things. Mamdani came back with a massive housing proposal. Mamdani's team created mock headlines to show Trump how such a project would be received. He was very enthusiastic. Mamdani pushed for the release of Columbia student detained today. Trump called him later to tell him she's being released. Mamdani also gave Susie Wiles a list of the 4 other students he once helped with, all targeted in pro-Palestinian protests. You know,
good on him.
Yeah.
You know, amazing. That's why I didn't, and neither of us really critiqued him too much for meeting with Trump. I mean, he got Trump to say this socialist isn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
We agree on a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And he, you know, and that just undermined the whole Republican Party and Fox News and their strategy with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so here it is, proof of that relationship.
Yep.
Now, the thing to watch out for is, even though Trump is not allowed to operate some of this stuff in New York,
Yeah.
crony capitalism, if there's a new project, who's going to benefit from the project? Somehow him and his buddies.
Of course. Yeah. And it will coincide with abundance and deregulation. We got to get those apartment complexes up quickly. Public housing. Do they really need fresh air, ventilation, or filters? Or,
I mean,
I know.
We're literally currently, as of today, a news story on us changing the amount of toxic chemicals allowed in our drinking water. That's happening right now. We're just letting more chemicals. We're like, a little bit of that isn't
we'll
as
all
bad.
be Flint, Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what a travesty that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. actually did sue. Was it Monsanto that he sued and had a big win? And now it's like, no, we're doing an executive order to speed up production of glyphosate because we need more food in this country.
And glyphosate is Roundup, you know, all the lawsuits over Roundup, you know, which it's the clear connection between that and cancerous shit. It's Roundup, it's glyphosate.
Yep.
But now our administration, who we got the guy telling us, the guy that sued over glyphosate is part of the administration, say, make America healthy again. And we can now poison your water with these chemicals.
Yep.
You know,
and the great thing is glyphosate is owned by Bayer, which has part of their company, this huge pharmaceutical, is cancer fighting treatments. So you create the problem and then you fix the problem. It's like when they told us to take our masks off and we got to read the minutes from the Pfizer meeting where they're like, this is good stuff. Because even though people are vaxxed, and like a great percentage of our country was vaxxed at the beginning, when they take the masks off, they will be getting infected. And now we have, what's the thing called? The not Prilifex. What's the thing? Their anti-COVID. Anyway, whatever. It all works out.
My brain is fried today.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling like that also. And I did just see, and this is horrifying, and I hate it. Mamdani said nothing. Paxlovid, thank you. About the new ICE facility in the Hudson River Valley. That's horrible. He and Hochul should have stopped at all costs. Of course, concentration camps are not acceptable. It's so awful. You know, there's this new documentary. It's called the Alabama Solution. Is that what it's called? We have a small clip of it. Alabama Solution. Yeah. And those prisons, and I mean, we've known this for a long time, but those prisons are torture chambers. They're death camps, just like Alligator Alcatraz. I mean, like, it's not like we had a great prison system in the first place, and now we're just mass producing them in warehouses where people don't have air filtration, no ventilation, no, like, the 100 people sometimes to a cage where they have to take turns who gets to lie down on the concrete to sleep. They don't have privacy to go to the bathroom. The bathrooms are often not working. And
Well,
these are
the
people.
guy just died who they let out in the cold, the blind guy. I mean, how disgusting is that story?
And nobody is punished for any of this because we showed the kid, the American kid who said, I'm American, I'm working at Target. His manager was like, oh no, he's American. They don't care. They take him. They get paid for that. They bring him to a detention center. They rough him up. They don't have anything on him, but now they've made their commission and the private detention heads and all of that. They let him off without, in Minnesota, where it's like -20 at the time, without his belongings, without a phone, beaten up, miles away from where they got him from. And that was not punished. So yeah, now this guy who, I think we pulled it, but anyway, they let this guy who escaped his own country's civil war, which I'm sure we had a hand in, let's face it. And he's almost blind. He has to walk with some kind of stick because he didn't even have enough money for a cane. They arrest him. Then they realize they have no reason to justify detaining him, actually. And they just let him off in the middle of the night and he died.
Yeah, and he was non-communicative, not completely, but they said he didn't have the means to use a telephone to call somebody. He didn't have any of these, they had to know a lot of that when they let him out.
Of course.
So the outcome was largely predictable in this situation. And the cruelty put on a community, especially when it's not an actual illegal, undocumented person, you're just saying we are going to terrorize all of you, even, especially the old weak guy who's blind. It's just.
And for what? Truly for what? Just so they get a bonus. But we've been seeing this. They would do that. Cops would just dump homeless people in front of a hospital. There has been so few consequences for any of this behavior all along. And so now it's just escalating because now they're just treating it they've said it. They're treating it like Amazon. We just got to get those bodies in the detention centers, rake up that money. They're not going after dangerous criminals.
No, but the issue merges with the eugenics, which is part of the getting rid of the COVID protections and whatnot. Dropping Medicaid for a lot of people because some sick people are going to die, but the economy must go on, and that's that's the overlying message and all this stuff. They're saying this guy, the autopsy or whatever, the person who's decided the cause of death at this point, I don't know if they had an actual autopsy yet, but somebody said it wasn't from freezing to death or something, but if you have a condition and you're out in the cold, you may not freeze to death, but you may not get enough oxygen somehow, or there are other impacts, all the illnesses he brought. So they blame the illness is what I'm saying. They blame the illness. But
they're going to do what they did with the COVID numbers and be like, did you die with COVID or by COVID? Did you have it at the same time you died of something else? Or was COVID the predominant reason? The same way the Bari Weisses and all the Zionists were like, oh, those Palestinians are starving because they had an underlying condition, which, by the way, is also caused by the blockade and the siege on Gaza. But this is a diagram of the conversion of a warehouse into an ICE mega prison holding 10,000 detainees, which stuffs 100 people into a room. And Jeffrey St. Clair, from Counterpunch, who's fantastic, says, how much it resembles a slave ship. And it does.
Yeah, every square inch is a person.
Yep. And they're going to force you to work to be able to afford the phone, to be able to afford soap. So it's slave labor. I mean, that's exactly what this all is. We know, but it's just really, really
and
disgusting.
it's very similar. I mean, not exactly, but this reminded me, because you brought up slave labor, the plan for Palestine that the Trumps and the Board of Peace have is that basically they're going to give these people that want to live there the option of having their kids be taught by Israeli education system that's crafted for Palestinians. So they're
de-radicalization.
Yes, they're going to dictate the education of the kids, and the adults are going to end up working for Jared fucking Kushner.
Yep.
Jared fucking Kushner, little rich mini Gavin Newsom in the making, they're going to be like subservient slaves in this system. They're going to be worse than they were before in the future.
Yeah. I don't understand how this is being allowed to happen. The Board of Peace is an atrocity.
Israel just joined the Board of Peace today, by the way. They're on it now.
Oh, I thought they'd already joined it.
I don't think they were. I think that was breaking news, but maybe not. Maybe it was,
because I know that I know what's his name, Netanyahu, couldn't come to the initial meeting because he would be arrested. But I thought he had already joined it. But yeah, I mean that the people who commit the genocide are on the Board of Peace. What a horrific development on top of every other thing.
It's literally the Nazis are a part of the Board of Peace,
and they are going to
the Nazis who still are in power and haven't been overturned yet,
and who have been violating this mock pretend ceasefire every single day. Actually, that maybe let's just go there because we haven't really talked about it for such a long time, and we're bobbing and weaving.
Well, if we're gonna bob and weave, we should spin because I need my second beer because it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
All right, 1 second. I gotta switch my screens here. Oh my goodness, I'm geeking out. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
All right, we got a what the fuck.
What the fuck? Oh yeah, we do. This is the Drooby.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. Fuck you, I hate you all. We have a very exciting announcement for you today. Here to tell you about it is Pete Hegseth.
Oh, what's up, fucker?
Oh my goodness, Pete, are you okay? Holy fuck, is he ever not drunk? It's like the only human I've ever seen that needs a fucking kickstand.
Hey, fuck you, bro. Fight me.
Get fucked, you duster. You're not fighting anyone. You're a human tilt-a-whirl. Excuse me, Pete, the announcement?
All right. We're using AI in the Pentagon. We're using Grok.
Why'd you pick the dumbest fucking one? Are you gonna put all the terrorists in bikinis? Excuse me, it's not dumb. Hey, Grok, how old's Caroline's husband? Oh my god.
Nicholas is currently 60 years old.
Is it normal to have a fucking baby at 60?
No, for lack of better terminology, it's fucking stupid.
Okay, what the hell? Pete's in the video. How am I the target? Is having an age gap with your husband larger than your actual age a fucking red flag? Okay, this is ridiculous.
Yes, but a solid option if no one in your age range likes you.
What a stupid AI.
I'm sorry. Would you like me to put someone in a bikini?
I will never get tired of that girl at the end.
I know, yeah, she's great. All right. So, this just came out yesterday or the day before that Palestinians are playing their first soccer game in Gaza, the first time in 2 years. Let's watch this and then we can show what FIFA and the Board of Peace have in store.
Some Gazans are getting a taste of the life they had before the war with Israel by enjoying a beloved sport.
For many people who identify as Palestinian, this is not just about physical activity. As reporter Christina McFarland explains, it's also about hope.
A battered soccer field amid a wasteland of ruin in Gaza City. For the first time in 2 years, Palestinians are playing again. Determined to get back on the pitch after a devastating war.
أكيد الأمل جزء أساسي من حياة الإنسان، يعني الواحد مجرد ما يشوف صورة الملعب ما بين كل الركام هذا وما بين كل الردم ترجع له النفس، بترجع له الأمل إنه يرجع ينشط بالرياضة في قطاع غزة.
The Palestine Football Association and Gaza's soccer clubs cleared rubble from a destroyed building that had collapsed onto this half-size pitch, restoring it to life and using it to host friendly tournaments. The ravaged landscape, a reminder that life beyond the pitch remains fragile and uncertain. But for these young fans, it's a momentary escape to life as it used to be. Climbing over broken and collapsed buildings just to get a better view.
الملعب هذا كل ما يحيطه دمار، الملاعب كلها طبعا اتدمرت، لكن رغم هذا بنحاول انه نصنع إرادة بأقل من القليل، أقل الموجود.
Since October 2023, more than 550 soccer players have been killed in the war, the majority by Israeli strikes. And more than 130 facilities destroyed, according to the Palestine Football Association. 4 months into the ceasefire, and the territory has seen almost no reconstruction. Most people still live in makeshift tents without enough food or clean water. But for these players, returning to the game is an act of resilience, a way to bring joy and life back to Gaza.
الدمار لا يمنع المستقبل، فبناء المستقبل جاري، وإن شاء الله هذه البطولة تكون فتحة لبطولات ثانية بإذن الله.
Christina McFarlane, CNN, London.
So that's so beautiful. It shows such, willpower and resolve. And, there were so many, I think last year, there was a Palestinian football player who could have qualified for the World Cup, but Israel wouldn't allow him to go to the West Bank to play, which is where he would have had to, qualify. And then just as a reminder that Gaza is home to the largest cohort of child amputees in modern history, and the Palestinian Amputee Football Association this was from last year, trying to take part in the World Cup qualifiers. But, just knowing the obliteration that has been happening and continues to happen, and then to see people even wanting to try is so beautiful. And so I'm going to share it so that we can pause it when we are too outraged or just need to end it. But this just came out today. FIFA has been abominable in not trying at all to protect Palestinians, Palestinian football players, allowing Israel to play while they banned Russia right away, allowing the hooligans for the Maccabi team, all of this stuff. I think the head of FIFA is actually on the board of peace. They have been petitioned by soccer teams around the world to ban Israel, and they have not. So this just came out today, the plan that FIFA and the board of peace have for Palestinians to be able to play. And also, even though that segment was really, I thought, well done, that the two newscasters or whatever anchors threw over to, did you notice that the guy at the beginning said, for players who identify as Palestinian?
Yeah, what is that?
That is because Palestine isn't a real place. It doesn't exist. You're not allowed to say it. Right? I mean, it is just so glaringly obvious at every level how
it is. And I just want to say, go on, please.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
Well, I was just going to say, because we're going to show the FIFA clip. FIFA is the most corrupt organization on earth. They've been corrupt forever. Where they hold the World Cup, it's just bribes to I don't know, Gianmarco. I don't know his name. Somebody put it in chat. I saw it, but they're just corrupt as sin. So, if you're corrupt, who's going to bribe you the mostest? The U.S. and Israel. And that's what we're looking at with this.
And it's so sad too, because soccer really does bring the world together in so many beautiful ways. And it is a sport that anybody can play, which is wonderful when you are constantly being, invaded and bombed by imperial powers, that really all you need is a ball. And I sometimes don't know how to get past the sadness, and we're just living it remotely anyway. And to know that like this is just a constant for people in their lives it's unbearable. So this is their big plan. I will pause it at the beginning to backtrack, because it always kind of skips ahead. Sorry, one second.
In a world where conflict has silenced playgrounds and broken routines, there is one language that still unites hearts: football. A simple ball, a shared field, a reason to believe again. Today, FIFA and the Board of Peace come together to turn football into a bridge toward peace, dignity, and hope. Through this partnership, a complete football ecosystem will be created. FIFA and the Board of Peace will build football pitches, FIFA arenas, academies, and stadiums. This initiative will support the creation of leagues at youth, amateur, and regional level, strengthening community engagement both on and off the pitch. It will also generate diverse professional opportunities, supporting the development of local talent not only on the field, but across all areas that bring football to life. Football does more than create players and coaches. It rebuilds confidence, restores routine, reopens doors to education, teamwork, and belonging. Local communities take the lead. Parents, teachers, volunteers, youth leaders, all becoming part of a shared mission to heal, to rebuild, to move forward together. Around every pitch, new emotions and long-lasting memories emerge. Community matches, fan gatherings, youth education, and sport programs. New job opportunities appear to become coaches, players, sport doctors, administrators, events organizers. We will create football ecosystem with thousands of people to be involved and engaged constantly. Together, FIFA and the Board of Peace will build, in Gaza, 50 FIFA arena mini pitches, with a cost of around $50,000 per unit. This represents a $2.5 million investment. 5 full-size pitches in 5 different districts, at around $1 million per pitch. A FIFA academy with an estimated investment of $15 million. And a national stadium for 20,000 to 25,000 spectators, valued at around $50 million. These investments will create a complete football ecosystem designed to support communities and future generations. FIFA and the Board of Peace, united for football, committed to peace.
Fucking gross.
I mean, okay, obviously, I know we all know, but that's all AI. It's all disgusting. I'm kind of surprised that they showed so much devastation and destruction and rubble in their advertisement there, in their proposal.
Yeah, I agree. But it's also sort of desensitizing it. And it's a sales pitch in a sense of like, here's the problem, here's the solution. So here's the problem, here's the solution.
But like, you made that problem. You people, it's like Monsanto and Bayer. Like, we're gonna give you the cancer, and then we're gonna give you the chemo.
And it also has very colonial Roman Colosseum vibes to me.
Yeah,
of like, you know, we're gonna breed the best athletes in the world out there because you're athletic. You know, we're gonna harness that part of you. You know, not like, hey, FIFA's gonna come in and we're gonna do things that aren't soccer related. Because we're going to benefit from this economically, we're building hospitals and churches around every place.
So they've got the re-education centers.
Places that can't be bombed because they're American owned or Israeli owned, or, you know, no, it's just, I don't want to hear about soccer before I hear about hospitals.
Well, not from those people, right? Like Palestinians should do everything that gives them a moment of joy or anything. But for the Board of Peace, who is made up of the people who are still doing the bombing, who made Gaza a like a rubble parking lot, and now saying we're going to just put pitches over hundreds of thousands of people we slaughtered.
Oh yeah, it's the death and destruction underneath every soccer field. It's like Pet Cemetery times a million. You know, it's just evil. I mean, I rebuild it, and you know, yes, give the kids soccer fields, do all that. But when it's the Board of Peace, you should hear capitalism. You should hear Trump profiting from a disaster. You shouldn't hear like, hey, that's a project that's going to help these people. It's them exploiting these people, and the ad even reeks of exploitation.
Oh
with,
yeah,
you know,
well,
the coaches
made from AI, the whole thing. And you know, the best thing that they could do is stop bombing, just stop shooting people, stop killing these people, get those hospitals, like give Gazans the money, give Palestinians the money to rebuild, let all the aid in, and stay the fuck out. It's so disgusting. Like I've watched that now 3 times because I keep looking. I'm like, it's like they're laughing in our faces. Like they did all of this. The people on that Board of Peace, like they're the ones who either did it themselves or enabled it.
Yeah. And you just know that everyone involved in the project, if they actually get to any of this stuff, it's going to start, it's going to stop because of Palestinian violence. They're going to need more money from the U.S. government, from the Board of Peace. They're all going to just keep extracting money from people under the guise of helping these Palestinians. And at the end of the day, that field will be built before the new hospital. You know, if it's American owned.
Yeah, they'll put down some, you know, they'll put turf down and be like, look what we did.
Yeah, they'll put in that turf that gave everyone cancer to play.
Exactly.
On.
Yeah.
The stuff made from tire rubber.
Yep. Well, you can't grow anything on that rubble at this point, of course. Yeah. I'm seeing a couple of super chats I want to get to before we get kicked off for whatever reason, because that happens sometimes to us. I know that young man from Target crying with his head bloody. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. And Anthony, good to see you. Thank you. FIFA and the Board of Peace coming together is like Hepe and cancer teaming up to cure athlete's foot. Yeah. I mean, to put that out there, they're all walking around like this is actually a thing. And then to have Netanyahu talk about the de-radicalization institutions. What would de-radicalize people is not to have to live next to the people who are genociding them.
And I think that's part of why it's especially gross is like you haven't stopped attacking these people, and this whole thing is sold as like we're on to the next phase of like it's happy joy, soccer fields and good times. It's like, no, you're still killing them. Stop ignoring that you're still killing them. FIFA, you know, if they were an actual institution that cared about people, would be leveraging their power to say, you know, we wouldn't build soccer. We're not going to be involved in this project until you get, you know, stop bombing them first. Yeah. Like
stop bombing them, stop shooting people on the beach, stop bombing their tents, let aid in.
Yeah, but instead they partner with the other most corrupt institution that is going to be the absolute most corrupt institution in the entire world, which is the Board of Peace.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that nobody is talking about this. They still talk about a ceasefire. And again, like every day, Palestinians are killed by the IDF. Every single day. And if it's ever reported on at all, it's like, oh, well, they were Hamas terrorists. That's why. That is who your ceasefire is with. Like, that's who it's with. But yet you still keep slaughtering children and men and women who are not Hamas. And by the way, like of course you have resistance fighters. Who would ever give up weapons, whether they are Hamas or Hezbollah or Iran or Ansar Allah? Israel wants you all exterminated. That is the plan. They're talking about it. Mike Huckabee talked about it. Greater Israel. It was promised to them in the Bible. Don't ever give up any weapons. They've got the worst neighbor in the world right there. I just, like, it is so, the world is just upside down. And now finally, 2.5 years into the genocide, you've got international reporters asking to be let into Gaza. Why weren't they talking about this on October 7th and October 8th?
It should have been a steady drumbeat of something is bad happening if you can't allow reporters in, because every conflict, every war that ever existed, reporters make their own judgments, but they're not banned from coming into the place. But they do their own safety checks and ensure it's fine, but they take the risk and calculate it all. But Israel had to do that for every reporter on earth somehow.
And remember
The
when,
most targeted,
the BBC journalist, I mean, it was way too late. It was like, what, a month ago or something, sat down with Netanyahu and asked why you're not letting journalists in. Oh, it's too dangerous. It's dangerous because you are killing them. Like,
yeah,
yes.
But even in that interview, I remember him saying, we need to do better on that. We're going to, which is just the like, yeah, I heard your criticism.
Yeah. So yesterday we mentioned and we pulled it, but Richard Engel from NBC got into Gaza. He escaped his handlers, and this is his report that he filed.
I'm now in Gaza, and I was brought here by the Israeli military on an embed, which remains the only way that foreign journalists can get into Gaza. And this is what I am seeing, and this is what it looks like in Gaza today, after a ceasefire was announced. Total destruction. I'm going to go ahead a little bit. The Israeli military doesn't want me to venture too far off, but I think I can get to here safely to give you a sense of the scale of how much devastation we're talking about. As far as the eye can see, mountains of debris. These were apartment buildings. I am just on the outskirts of Gaza City. According to the ceasefire, Hamas is supposed to disarm, Israeli troops are supposed to pull out of Gaza, and reconstruction is supposed to begin. None of that has happened.
Even there, that's a lie. Hamas has never said it would disarm. Why would anybody disarm? They have never said they would disarm. Ever.
Yeah, and for the Israeli troops to know that he's here and allow it at this point, like, keep going, and it's just worse probably. I mean, that's just, you can't live there, right? But the green is coming up there again because there's enough, because it rained, the winter came and there's grass growing in some places. But some places it's just the more populated places have bigger buildings, and bigger buildings create an entire asphalt situation of dust and debris, and grass will never come up in that area again. What you walk through is cancer. You're getting cancer directly walking through those areas. And so this is the best it probably gets in most of Gaza, which is, which makes the soccer field thing like just extra gross, it's
because everything's going to have to be fake. Like, everything is going to have to be placed over 600,000 dead bodies of rubble. It will be fake grass, fake
1 million.
buildings.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
But I don't know what that means. Thank you for the super chat. They planned this in 2021, Project Sunrise. We need to do a deep dive Project Sunrise. I am writing that down. Is that the Gaza Mediterranean? It's just so nauseating to see this. Thank you for your super chat. And also thank you to Vendejo. It's not like Zahel is going to play the World Cup. Yeah. I mean, watching them lose to anybody is always just like a little, like the slightest bit of joy that we can get. Thank you guys for your super chats. The World Central Kitchen just said that they can no longer get in there. It's too dangerous. and UNRWA, Israel actually bulldozed UNRWA's headquarters. That's a war crime. Like, it's just war crime after war crime, and there's just never a consequence. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. And the fact also, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, it's great that Richard Engel went there and said what he said, but like, we've all seen that. We've all known that since October 8th, when they said a complete siege. Yeah. We're going to, everybody is Hamas. They are all criminals and Amalek. And then we saw, so like, all he had to do was pick up his fucking phone to do a good report. He could have been saying what we were all seeing, that when Palestinians were broadcasting their own genocide, he could have done the same thing, but with the huge microphone of being a journalist at NBC, could have actually spread that word.
Yeah. And look, if you're a person of conscience and just a good person, when NBC doesn't let you report on this, you leave NBC. You say, I am Richard Engel. I have reported on this stuff forever. I and my colleagues are going to stand up against our own corporations that we've worked for, because they're not covering our peers and colleagues that are dead, who have been there covering this stuff. And we're going to tell you the truth about this. And that pressure from the start would have either gotten people in, but it would have moved the needle somehow. Instead, these guys all played along.
They were 100% complicit. And I'm sorry, but that's, even just exactly what you said, everything is right. But also just the fact that he said Hamas was supposed to disarm. Take a look around you. For what? Why would they disarm? Like, how about you report on what actually happened on October 7th and how there's no way that all of those cars could have been blasted through the roof by the weaponry, the AK-47s or whatever Hamas has? Why don't you do that? Why don't you talk about the Hannibal directive? Why don't you talk about how many of the people who were killed were actually civilians and how many were on-duty IDF soldiers? I mean, like, there's so much that you could be reporting on to expose what's really happening. And the fact that now, 2.5 years later, you're still going to, Hamas should disarm. Look around you. Why? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And anyway, they never said they would disarm. They cannot disarm. No state should ever disarm. They have a right to protect themselves.
But we can't pretend that guys like him don't know the entire situation. He's a very smart guy. He's actually a very, very intelligent guy. I've respected him a lot in the past.
Right.
So he knows that he's been not allowed to go in there because Israel is in charge. He knows NBC has Israeli assets running the news there.
Yep.
He knows he can't report on this stuff. He knows what's true and not. He's not just duped by Israeli propaganda. He knows it's a genocide, and that's why he took this step, 2.5 years later to make this happen. And I'm glad he did. But at the same time, like you said, he's still pushing this propaganda bullshit.
Yeah.
So like, it's a baby step, and it's, it's not enough.
No. And now all of these, they put out this big plea for international journalists to be able to come in. But like, none of these people has talked about the 300 Palestinian journalists who have been killed. I don't know if any of them ever talked about Shireen Abu Akleh, who is a Palestinian American citizen, the way we fight for our US citizens who are killed by Israel. They have no solidarity with their journalists, fellow journalists. Every single time any one of these journalists is mentioned, even by Reuters, when there was that triple tap on the reporters on the journalists at the hospital on the staircase, one of those journalists was one of the Reuters employees, was a cameraman working for Reuters at the time. And they still said Hamas connected, journalists, so-called journalists.
Yeah, their own person.
So they are not washing their hands clean of this, even with these ridiculous pleas that they're putting out now, their petition to be let into Gaza.
We've been locked out, banned,
denied,
restricted. For more than 2 years, the Israeli government has refused to allow journalists into Gaza to report independently.
To show the world the reality of war.
And this fragile ceasefire from every angle.
It is long past time for Israel to lift this ban and let us in.
Our Palestinian colleagues in Gaza have been reporting for more than 2 years under impossible conditions.
But they shouldn't have to bear that burden alone.
More than 200 Palestinian journalists have been killed in Gaza. Many more have been displaced. Some have been detained. We need more journalists in Gaza.
The Foreign Press Association petitioned Israel's Supreme Court to overrule the government's ban. The government responded with excuses, stalling tactics, and classified security arguments.
Enough is enough.
You,
me,
us. We should all fight for our right to be informed.
For the rights of a free and independent press.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us in calling on the United States
and leaders around the world to demand Israel let journalists into Gaza.
This is unprecedented, and it must end. Let us in.
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 I mean, I feel bad
because some sensational footage of the travesty now.
Yeah.
Think of the ratings. Get us in there.
They had one Palestinian journalist as part of that little plea, right? Hind Kudari. Is that Kudari?
Is that the Al Jazeera journalist? Because I noticed she was the only one who really said something bad about what. She was the one who brought up how many journalists died.
Right.
They let the Al Jazeera person say
she said
the
that
death part.
There was a woman from Sky News who said our Palestinian colleagues. And then I do, Ayman has been good on MSNBC.
No, half of them have been good.
Yeah. And then, well, I don't know. And then Hind Kudari, the Palestinian woman who's talking from Gaza. But Clarissa Ward at the beginning, do you remember when she went to the Egyptian border and was screamed at by, I think it was a Palestinian refugee who was living in Egypt who, spoke beautiful English and berated her for enabling what was happening to them. And that was like in October of 2023. Like, where has she been for 2.5 years? And again, if they want to report,
her voice.
Pick up your fucking phone, look at all the images that we have all been watching, and use your enormous platform to communicate to the world, to your government, and as you said, resign from your shitty jobs. They all make over $1 million a year, who are names or faces on the cable network TV news.
Right. And it's one thing if it took you 6 months to come around to the opinion the rest of the world held, fine, because you're in your eco bubble with, Israeli pressure. You don't understand it. But a year later, you did nothing. A year and a half later, you did nothing. 2 years later, you did nothing. Now, 2.5 years later, when we're finally talking about building soccer fields there, you're like, can we come in?
Yeah.
I
need to get my investigative reporting in.
So, yeah, you're going to get a win eventually on this thing, and you're going to act like you're heroic. You got in there just to film the dead bodies.
Nick of time.
How great it is. Look how bad it is. God, we should have not done this. I mean, what? Like,
there have been so many moments over the last 2.5 years where I thought this is the one that's going to wake people up or really, and then they just all sort of come together and close ranks, and that's it. But I will never forgive, half of those people in that video. And I don't want to malign the other few who have been really trying all along, but it's really just repellent. Okay. I know it's getting late. We got a couple more. Thanks, Pendejo. It's sick. An army funded by foreign trillions and yet so gleefully going after people with no army and no air force. Explain it, Tony. I don't get it. It like the sadism, the cruelty, all of it. And the idea that it's the Palestinians who need to be de-radicalized.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is, if you don't work for Jared Kushner, maybe Egypt takes you and that's your out, you know, which the Palestinians don't want to leave their country after all this, you know. What? So your other option is send your kids to the school where they're getting brainwashed, and take a job for FIFA or something, you know, building some shit that's corrupt that all of Trump's crony people have profits in.
Yeah.
While
Where
you're getting
exploit your
told
labor
that
and tell you should be grateful for it.
your kids are learning the history of, like, hey, this is why, you know,
you deserved
the
it.
history book's going to be like, yeah, October 7th, you know, you guys learn your lesson.
Yep.
Don't do this again. That's why you all had to die.
It's really sick. BDA, thank you for your super chat. Thank you. All
right.
Okay, so I know it's getting late, but I just want to hit a couple things really quickly. Or are you okay? Are we
Yeah.
fading?
And I'm sorry, I'm so wiped out from the last 2 days.
I
but
know.
we got to go. We got to go a little more. We're trying to keep it to an hour, but it just feels too short. So let's keep going.
Well, this is like a little, you know, piece of good news, if we can.
Yeah,
see.
American
Jews. Sorry, yeah.
Can we? Yeah, if we could transition to anything positive before I get off here.
We'll finish the Israel part really quickly.
American Jews sharply disapprove of Israel's conduct in the war in Gaza. The latest Washington Post poll of American Jews finds that 61% say Israel has committed war crimes against Palestinians, and nearly 40% say the country is guilty of genocide against the Palestinians.
I mean, that still feels low, but I think they are even shocked by the fact that they're talking about that on Morning Joe. They're done. They know that they're done.
I mean, there is no coming back. You can't tell everybody what we've seen didn't happen. I don't know how Israel ever recovers from this. I see how we do economically, and we just move on, and capitalism, you got your own healthcare to worry about. And AI is taking your job, so why are you so worried about Palestine? And, you know, but how people think of this is not changing here in the world. So if there aren't consequences for this, you're just gonna have people matter in the world. I don't think it's going away. I don't know.
It's so hard to know because, again, like the people, it's like, you know, how Democrats who say that, you know, Medicare for all, it's not really, it's a long process. It's really difficult. And you're like, well, I don't know, 31 out of 32 industrialized nations have figured out some form of single payer. So clearly it's not that complicated. And what it really is we just don't want to represent what most of the people in the country want. Obviously we talk about this all the time. And the thing that is really terrifying is it's clear that the people worldwide hate Israel and the US and hate this genocide. They know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
They've been protesting in the streets. They've been trying. And so the leaders know. They know how much we hate it. That's why they want to ban TikTok. That's why Larry Ellison now just, you know, he's getting Warner Brothers also, we just found out today. And, he only had to censor, however many different people and threaten others and make sure that Tallarico didn't, Tallarico, for God's sakes, get his Colbert shot and let Barry Weiss, shut down the CCOT exploration, like all of those different things.
Yeah.
But they know what we think. And the thing that is terrifying is now everybody in the world, every leader of any country knows that there really are, we're not even pretending that there's a rules-based order, even though it never applied to the US. The US pretended that it existed. It doesn't exist. You can go in, you can do a genocide and then call it the Board of Peace. You can kidnap the democratically elected leader of a sovereign nation. You can shoot fisher boats out of the water and then laugh about it in your State of the Union, we didn't even talk about that, where he's like, oh, we really cut down on that fishing industry in the Caribbean. Like, so now it is just might makes right. It's just total rapist mentality. Like, I'm stronger than you. I want what you have. I'm taking it. Nobody can do anything.
I mean, that's it. But, I don't see how Israel comes out in a good place from any of this. I think maybe the Board of Peace is their project to somehow economically keep Israel afloat.
Yeah.
Because the world is protesting. They're not going to vacation to Israel. They're not going to buy Israeli products. You can't propagandize your way out of that. That's not changing. The U.S., I think we have the ability to switch leadership and then change our positions and rewrite history. And the world sees us for who we are.
Yeah.
But, it'll be a kinder version or something, but Israel is never getting a kinder version of Netanyahu, because the next election will be a more evil Netanyahu. And so even the public, spin that they put on it, I think they're fucked in Israel. And that I hope they are.
I hope they are too. Of course, Israel just welcomed Modi into the ranks. And I think that is like, obviously the sentiment in the US, even the Republicans, like they kind of did away with most Democrats with the Democratic Party, even though they're still trying to funnel money in. But they just welcomed Modi there. So maybe they really are just going to like enjoy their pariah statehood with India and go off. Although I thought this was really interesting. It's very small. I'm doing it just to remind myself of some of the stuff. But this journalist just wrote a piece on the fact, and this is crazy. None of us have, or I hadn't heard of how many people, but anyway, 300 million workers staged the largest strike action in human history. They shut down India, a G20 economy. Most of you are hearing about it for the first time now. That's not poor journalism. That's deliberate erasure of working class power in real time. And she says, Modi's labor codes aren't reformed. They're a legal blueprint for mass firings, wage cuts, and crushed unions. 300 million workers shutting India down is the verdict on the BJP's entire project of rule for the rich. And she links to her story. While Washington, Westminster, and Brussels celebrated mega trade deals with India, 300 million workers walked out to say those agreements are written in their blood. These strikes are not a footnote to global capitalism. They are its reckoning. And she's exactly right. That's amazing. And all of the journalists who are not also reporting on that are complicit in this death spiral of capitalism. They don't want people to know. They don't want them to even imagine working class solidarity.
I mean, because how would you not cover that? If it,
right?
Come on, and they don't have to comb through, 20,000 Twitter accounts to come to this piece of news.
Right. Yeah.
They know what's going on in the world. They have reporters embedded in India.
100%. And we know what the response is whenever U.S. workers go on strike. Don't you feel bad that kids aren't going to get their Christmas toys? They asked as somebody who's being paid slave labor wages and doesn't get sick days instead of to the billionaire CEO, right? Like, we know what they think about when workers go on strike. That's how they frame
every single time there's a strike. They frame it in a way of like, just like Kamala, like, okay, I'm all for Medicare for all, but think of all the black workers at the call centers in the existing system. Like, I don't know if we could have Medicare for all because of the call workers that disproportionately are African-American who work at these call centers for the insurance agency. So I don't know, work that out. Maybe we can get Medicare for all, but that's really important to me right now.
Yeah. Yep. That's why you can't deregulate the banks, says Hillary Clinton, because it wouldn't solve racism. And that's why, all of the people saying that Joe Biden was the most FDR progressive worker, pro-worker, but he crushed 3 strikes. Nobody ever talks about the other 2. 3 strikes he crushed. And the fact that that person, because he picked up a sign and walked around a picket line once, could be, oh, look, the first, sitting president who's ever done that. That's the lowest bar ever. He's also, like, oh, it's the biggest climate bill ever. It's also the least big ever. It was the only one. So like all of that stuff is complicity in a system that is committing social murder.
And you also have to look at it like, okay, if 300 million people pissed and fighting their government isn't moving the needle yet.
Yep.
Your lawn sign ain't gonna fucking do it.
Yep.
In the US, your lawn sign
in this house, you don't think it does it in this house?
That's not gonna do it. I mean, and Modi's system over there is not, it's not built like ours to crush revolts. Like we are truly like, our system is designed, and all this AI and tech, it's all in place now to shut us down if we ever get as mad as these people are over in India.
You can go take up a residency in your new slave home. I mean, that's what they've got waiting for us. 2 Fs, I see you looking. It was the rail workers strike. There was a New Jersey transit strike, and there was also a West Coast dock workers strike. And the West Coast dock workers and the New Jersey transit ones were shut down so quickly and with so little reporting. So that's, and by the way, they would not have been able to shut down the railroad strike without the complicity of people like Jamal Bowman and AOC Pelosi, right? Okay. We're going to show a cute video. People are asking for something fun. Thank you, Fendeo, for the super chat. Carney told the world.
Didn't we?
Yeah, it is. International law is a farce.
Did we show the puppy yawns before? Somebody was saying we might have shown the other one. So I don't know. Did we show the puppy yawns? Puppy yawns? Anyone? I'm going to show it because you asked for puppies. So I think we'll do some puppies and go out on it one good thing.
Sounds good. Oh my God.
Ow.
Wow.
Little cow.
Wow.
For the following sounds, or don't. I can't really tell you what to do.
There it is. I love that. And I also just want to say, Sunny, I see the conversation going on about the Doctors Against Genocide, and I have written them a couple of times. We would love to be part of anything. I need to scroll back because I wasn't able to keep up with that sub conversation that was happening. But I'm scrolling back, I'm just seeing Mohammed Salama, the journalist that was following the Amir story, who was detained by the GHF on 23rd of August, then killed in that double tap strike. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew journalists were killed, but I didn't realize that.
Oops.
Oh, sorry. But I see you writing, and I would love to get in touch with you to figure out if we can be part of that, or get in touch with the Doctors Against Genocide. They're doing such spectacular work. So if you would please maybe DM us or something, we would really love that, because I know we've shown clips of several of them talking, but we would really love to.
They are open invitation.
Yeah.
And we're going to pursue them if we have an end. So for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. We're going to let Pat go to bed. Pat needs to go to bed. All of you on the East Coast.
Yeah, I have been dumb for 2 days straight from lack of sleep, so I apologize for that part.
Do
but
not
I'm
seem
my brain is
dumb
fried.
at all.
Personal stuff, but yeah.
We love you guys all so much. They are doing fantastic work in Minneapolis. They are preparing for a week of action and rent strikes and that kind of community mutual aid and activism and organizing is contagious. So cheers to them. Cheers to all of you. And we will see you on Sunday.
We are pushing to get 10,000 tenants across the city to pledge to withhold their rent on March 1st. If 10,000 people refuse to pay their rent, that would double the rent debt in this city and bring about a severe economic crisis that would finally force Mayor Fry and the governor and the city to recognize that they need to enact an eviction moratorium and provide the rental relief that we need and we deserve. The amount of organizing that was already happening in the cities before this surge was impressive. Thousands of neighbors came together, door knocked their buildings, met each other, formed neighborhood groups in order to facilitate mutual aid, school patrols, driving people to work. This was an incredibly impressive feat and something that is possible across the country. We know that the people who are able to protect us and protect our neighbors from abductions that happen in minutes are the people who are closest to us. They're the people who live next door to us. They're the people who live in our buildings. So we need to be able to organize, to rely on one another, and that comes from tenant organizing, from building tenant unions and tenant associations at the building level, at the block level, and at the city level. And this is 100% replicable in cities across the country. I'm so excited to be in communication with tenant unions across the country who are looking to Minneapolis and learning from us and taking these lessons back to their cities, whether they are in the midst of their own crisis with ICE in their cities, or if they are just waiting for a surge, just like the one that we faced this winter.
Are we gonna let anybody get evicted next month? Hell no!